Solving questions 10 and 11 from the 2023 Mathcounts State Level Sprint Round. Question number 10 reads, Nautical dawn is the time in the morning when the center of the sun is 12 degrees below the horizon. Civil dawn is the time in the morning when the center of the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon. Assuming one day corresponds to a full rotation, how many minutes pass between nautical dawn and civil dawn? Okay, so we're looking at a difference of, from 12 degrees to 6 degrees. So difference is 6 degrees. And we're told that one day corresponds to one full rotation. So that means 24 hours corresponds to one full rotation, which is 360 degrees, because it's essentially like a circle rotating. 360 degrees. So this difference of 6 degrees is so basically what this means is we're going to have a fair ratio. Some number of minutes to 6 degrees is the same as 24 hours to 360 degrees. So this over here is 24 times 60 minutes, because you have 60 minutes per hour, so 24 times 60 gives you the number of minutes in 24 hours. This is 360 degrees, and then 6 degrees. Well, 6 degrees is just 360 over 60, so you can divide the left-hand side by 60, and you get 24 minutes. So that means 24 minutes pass between nautical dawn and civil dawn. Sidewalks in Glenn's neighborhood. If all sidewalks intersect at right angles, how many different routes can Glenn take from home to school, traveling only on sidewalks and in the shortest possible distance? Okay, so different routes and shortest possible distance. So shortest possible distance means in this case that he's only walking towards the right and down, because if he takes any lefts, that means he's walking backwards on the path he's already walked. So he could be walking a shorter path. And if he takes any ups, like if he goes up after having gone down, that means that his going down was futile and there was a shorter possible distance. So only rights and downs. Now, we have to calculate how many ways there are to get to this point, school. So let's figure out how many ways there are to get to each point in this map. So he'll start from home. How many ways are there to get to this corner? Well, that's only one way, because he has to go right. If he decides to go right and then left and then right, that is increasing the distance from home to school unnecessarily, and we want the shortest possible distance. So there's only one way to get to this point. Similarly, there's only one way to get to this point, and that's by going down. Now, to get to this point, you can either come from the top right corner or you can come from the bottom left corner. So that means there are two ways to get here. Okay, and then from here, well, to get down to here, you can only come from this point. So how many ever ways there are to come to this point, that's the same number over here, because it's that same path, just with an extra fixed down tacked on. Same thing with this point. And now here, you can come here from either this top right point or the top or bottom left point. Well, there are two ways to come from this point. There are two ways to end up going here via this point, and two ways via this point, because once you're at this point you can only go right, and when you're at this point you can only go down, so that makes 4 ways. Now here, to get here, they have to go via this point, and they have no other way of getting up. Well, actually, they don't want to go up there, because that just increases the length of them getting to school, so they don't even consider this part. They will just, rather than going up, right, and down, because they could just have gone across instead, they will just keep walking from this point. So that means there's only one way to get here. That's meaningful. And that means there are total 2 ways to get here, because of how many ever ways to get here, the same number to get here. Okay, now, same thing as before. The only way to get down to this point is by going downwards after reaching this point. And there are 2 ways to reach this point, so that means there are 2 ways to reach here via this point. Same thing here. And then there are 2 ways to reach school from this point, 2 ways to reach from this point, so that means you have total 4 ways of reaching school. Also, I just noticed that this 2 and 4 are actually meaningless, because he wants the shortest path possible. That means he wants to walk on this straight line over here. He would not go down and then right and then up, because this part is just a straight right and it's shorter. So there are only 4 different routes that Glenn can take from going from home to school.